Hidden among the cosmopolitan landscape of Croydon lies a business community thirsty for the next big idea. Who has what it takes to see their venture take flight? Crunch time has arrived. It's make or break. Only one can walk away with a prize fund worth £50,000. This is Young Startup Talent, Croydon.
In reality, in practice, you probably find that there is a hell of a lot of equipment to use and a lot of maintenance.
If you show that to enough people beforehand, automatically it's deemed to be in the public domain, you can't patent it.
On Thursday, 28th of April 2016, a total of 10 successful applicants attended the Young Startup Talent semi-final held at Jury's Inn. The evening was set out to put the young entrepreneurs, all aged between 16 and 25, through their paces. Judges and sponsors from the local area gathered together in a bid to whittle the promising pitches down to a final four. 2 months on from the semi-final, 4 aspiring entrepreneurs have been carefully selected and are about to pitch in front of Croydon's business community. Making up the panel for 2016 includes having recently been named by Richard Branson as one of the most exciting entrepreneurs in the UK and placed as #1 on the Times Super Teen Power list, Ben is ready to find the next big thing. Director of Social Marley, Ben Towers. Stepping into the process on the judging panel for a consecutive year is a journalist with years of experience. Currently the paper's content editor, his depth and knowledge is a welcome sight for the 2016 process. Editor of the Croydon Advertiser, James Booker. Joining the Croydon panel this year is a man who specialises in corporate transactions, providing advice to directors and shareholders alike. He heads up the corporate team with a primary focus on helping clients to achieve their goals. Partner of Crips, Salim Somjay. Developing strong links with the local and national media, she has a range of knowledge in numerous sectors with a passion for helping young entrepreneurs. Managing Director of PR company Media Wordwaves and founding partner of Young Startup Talent, Lorraine Nugent. Joining the panel for a second year is a man with a wealth of experience within his industry. His portfolio ranges from small to medium-sized businesses, providing tax and technical advice together with broader business guidance. Partner of Owadally & King, Simon Maddox. With years of experience building up his award-winning design marketing and print agency in the South East, he aims to use his wealth of knowledge to find the next generation of young entrepreneurs. CEO of Creative Pod and co-founder of Young Startup Talent, Matt Turner. Having worked in banking for over 35 years, Mark heads up the corporate and commercial lending business in the Croydon and South London area for NatWest. He is a member and supporter of Croydon Bid and Croydon Commitment organisations which mirror his role within NatWest. Mark Burgess. Making their way to pitch first is a talented young entrepreneur who is passionate about animation. Serena's determination and persistence to develop her idea and listen to feedback has earned her a place in the Croydon final for 2016. After delivering a first-class pitch during the speed networking session, Serena is amongst a talented group of entrepreneurs to make it to the final stage of the Young Startup Talent process.
Surprisingly, I feel fine. I was drawing a lot, so that helped calm my nerves and I'm just positive.
Can she deliver a sound pitch?
Hi, my name is Serena, and the business that I hope to bring to fruition is called Itsunrestricted. Its aim is to raise awareness of mental health issues and guide as well as educate the younger generation when they encounter situations as such. I now have 3 plans for this business, and at this point in time, I mainly want to focus on the first plan, which is a game app. This game app is called Social Unbound. You play as a character and you encounter other characters which are generically designed, and what happens is that these characters they personify mental health issues as colours. So for example, depression would be yellow, and depending on what state that character is in, depends on the darker shade of yellow. And if you encounter a character who has more than one different state of mental health issues, then the character will be a multiple array of colours. Now, the aim of this game is to get through the game without any percentage of black on you. And the reason for this is that when you encounter a character, you get an option. And this option is like a social situation. So for example, if that character is suffering from depression and you encounter that character and he asks you a question, you have a range of options to choose from. Out of those options, there's one which negatively influences that character. And if you choose that one, that negative influence will be put back on you. And then due to that, you would turn a percentage of darkness. And that's, I wanted to do that to use it as a representation, how your words can negatively inflict not only onto others, onto you as well. That's the first business idea out of 3. The other 2, that would be animation and books.
In terms of the game itself, what's the objective when you're in it? So say if I was to start, if I logged in, I start now, you said the objective is to keep a certain shade of colour as your person. What do you actually do in the game to make that happen?
Throughout the game, there are different trials. What happens is that I want to design it in a way that once you turn black, the game restarts on itself, so you start right from the beginning. If you play something like Flappy Birds, which is really repetitive, like you really want to get through the game because there is an end goal, but not being able to reach the end goal can really frustrate people, so they will end up playing it just a bit more.
I think you need to find almost like a better goal to play in the game. So turning black, for me, that's sort of a side part of the game. I think, so like the reason why people play Flappy Birds is because they want to get further, and it's a game, you know, they want to get that far.
So the thing is that, and I just want to clarify this, is this a business or is this a charity? Because if it's a business and your aim is to make profit, you're effectively profiteering.
No, like here's the thing, like you can go through the whole game without buying anything, but the thing is it will be very difficult.
I would look at getting a different game genre, like style, because I don't imagine people saying, I haven't got any mental health, but I download this game about mental health just because I'm interested in finding a bit more. You'll get a few do that, but obviously you want to be a business making a profit, and I don't think you can do that by tapping into that market. So
the only market I can see for that game on that approach is within the education system, as you know, that teachers using it with the class maybe. Yeah. But
wasn't that one of your revenue streams, wasn't it, to sell it to schools and things?
Yeah, well, that's if I think that should be where you're targeting it if you're going to keep it as it is, because I don't play games, but I imagine it's going to take a lot.
Solitaire.
It's going to take a lot for those guys who play all these battle games and whatever, and really interactive games, to suddenly want to play a game where they don't turn black and learn about mental illness.
I would also feel a lot more confident if you were in bed with someone like Mind, or you know, a charity that gives you access to people to test the product on and engage with it.
I have been in contact with Mind, and they gave me free range to actually advertise on their page and get back to them on details of what I'm doing.
Again, looking at the legal considerations point, you've picked up on all of the issues that you need to be thinking about, and that shows that you've actually thought it through. And who have you been talking to or has this all been self?
Oh, that was self-research. Just like looking up various websites, different websites, different like copyright laws, and just a whole lot of reading.
Did you do some research on how much the game would cost?
To build a game app, it costs about £5,000 to £6,000.
And how long would it take to develop the game?
2 to 4 months. Around that long.
I guess it depends how complicated it is, does it? And is that where would the game be? Are you aiming it out on like a mobile, or are you aiming it on like a Xbox, or what's your dream for where this game's going to be?
Eventually to end up on a console, but at the moment it's more like a game app. This idea was, it came to me because one of my friends, like, they were suffering from depression, and like they recently tried to take their life. It just spiked something in me that wanted to help those who need a bit of guidance, or like wishes for someone to notice, like just like the little things that they do, to just pick up and help them through it.
Right, thank you.
Serena.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Stepping up next to pitch is a set of confident young entrepreneurs who are looking to bring their business, Shaking Hands, into the limelight at the 2016 Croydon final.
I think we've prepared quite a lot for this moment. So, we've got a lot of things we want to get off our chest in the den itself, prove that, we've got a really good idea.
Feeling calm and confident. We've been planning for this day for a little while now and the business is working well, so excited to be in the room.
Looking to diversify the business world, they hope they can corner the market and win over the Young Startup Talent panel. Let's see if the pair have what it takes.
Hello guys, we are Shaking Hands and we are introducing to you a platform for small medium businesses to communicate, collaborate and shape the future of good business in Croydon.
My name's Rob.
And my name's Laurence. When me and Rob came together, finally, after many Skypes, we decided we wanted to start a project which solved a problem and served a purpose. So Shaking Hands, what do? We have a 3-step methodology for doing our business. So it's inform, smarten and grow for all of our members, and you can see that on the leaflets that are inside the packs.
So why Croydon? Croydon is experiencing a period of exponential growth. We had a 9% increase in businesses last year from 13,500 up to 14,800 registered in the Croydon borough. We have the largest population of any borough in London, and we also have around £7 billion worth of investment flooding into the borough through projects such as Westfields, Box Park, the Residential Quarter and Fairfield Halls.
One way we engage with the information on our members is handing out weekly newsletters. You can pick from 7 topics that are catered to your interests. So you can pick from business, community, economics, environment, traffic and travel, technology and property and development. We also have an events calendar, which is on the website, and it's a place where people can find all of the things going on in Croydon, from seminars, socials, networking events, festivals, government and council meetings, and also our members can upload their own seminars if they have one in accountancy or law or helping other people with information that they have.
We also have a venue directory. This is based on feedback from the last 2 months of we've been running. Somewhere where we have therapy rooms, professional photography studios, boardrooms, managed office suites, events for networking, all kinds of commercial storage, all kinds of options that a range of businesses might be looking to engage with.
The way we help businesses to grow once they're on the membership is through monthly socials. So we held a social down at Fairfield Halls very recently.
We have 3 core ways of generating income: membership, service providers and socials. Membership is charged at £60 for the first 3 months, excluding VAT, and then £28 excluding VAT thereafter each month. Service providers pay twice a year. They pay on January and June. They pay £150 excluding VAT. We receive 2 lump sums throughout the year, which help sponsor us through projects and help us with the finance to plan in the future. It also secures their 10% discount for our members for the next 6 months. Socials, we also sell tickets to our events. We are hoping to get some high-class speakers, as we mentioned, for the next social. We've got 3 pop-up stands, including professional headshots, 1-minute pitch videos, and an Apple Diagnostic Centre for broken phones, apps, Apple products. So we invite non-members to attend at £15 early bird tickets and £20 ahead before the week before.
With your investment, hopefully with the £2,000 cash, we would use that to invest in a CRM, which would streamline all of our operations. We would hope to have a new member of staff, hopefully in October, and use a free laptop to hopefully give them a window into getting involved straight away. Croydon Chamber, great resource for networking. Matthew's Yard, we're there drinking enough coffee, so to have a professional environment to take that to the next level would be really, really helpful.
And we'd like to thank you very much and open up the floor to any questions you might have.
How many members have you actually got signed up now?
We started proactively marketing with service providers in March, so they pay for a service provider membership, but they are full members, and until basically this week. So.
Can we just touch on the word marketing?
Yes.
Because when you look at your business plan, there's 0 allocation for any marketing.
As in budget?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we have done a few, we did the We Mean Business Expo in Croydon, which was a great event for us.
Did you pay for that?
We did.
So that's marketing?
Yes.
Self-funded.
So if you're like a member of BNI for networking, the chamber, that will cost money. That's all part of marketing, isn't it?
We got fortunately we got free invites to BNI for, and so actually all the marketing we have done is quite free.
Yeah, but this is a multi-period cash flow forecast. So Santa Claus doesn't last forever. At some point, you put the presents under the tree.
With your SWOT analysis, there's So I quite know quite a lot about the FSB in particular. The two weaknesses you've got, there's reasons for them, and I think you're going to come across them. So the first one, outsourcing to SMEs. So in your context, you've got 14.8 thousand businesses you could potentially get to. So what's going to happen when two of the same business, and they're like, why are you giving it to them and not me?
I'm glad you raised it, because it's a question we sat on for a long time, and you know, we didn't want to be a BNI where one service provider gets all the business. You know, we didn't want to be that exclusive, which is why we do have 3 printers on board. One is specialising in printing, one specialising in signage, one specialising in graphic design. They all offer the same portfolio, but they have a specific windows into their business.
Have you used all of the services of these people? Because you're using the word recommend.
We regularly do. We regularly do use the services of a lot of the guys we have on board. We would quite like to do almost an accreditation scheme, so where our logo is completely grayscale, and if you contribute a bit to the news, our logo is colour coded, so the events are green, the articles are pink, so the logo would light up if you contribute. So if you've contributed an article or a blog post in your industry, you suddenly get that bit light up. If your profile's complete, you know, a lot like LinkedIn where the bubble goes up, something like that is all ideas we wanted to play with. I think for us, we really wanted to get the idea off the ground.
Okay, thank you guys.
Awesome,
Okay.
thank you so much. Really appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Cheers, take care.
Next to Pitch is a talented entrepreneur whose knowledge and passion has impressed the business community and earned himself a place in the final. During the semi-final, Kurtis dealt well with the fast-paced questions from the judges and sponsors. His knowledge and understanding of his craft came across well, grabbing the attention of judges and sponsors alike.
Pretty nervous about the whole situation, but I think it'll go okay because I'm prepared for it.
As the process heats up, can he deliver a sound pitch?
Hello everyone. Firstly, I'd like to take you to the future. The year is 2090, fossil fuels are low, and the industrial boom has led to wide-scale extraction of fossil fuels globally, meaning electricity is at a minimum, transport is useless, and the once powerful developed cities are now in ruins. This ugly portrait is the picture human civilizations are painting for us, but it can be changed. My idea, to help create clean energy via wastewater of an establishment. Good evening, my name is Peck, and today I'll be talking to you about my company PEC Solutions. PEC Solutions is a registered green energy company which is trying to get its concept up and running. PEC Solutions aims to tackle global warming by finding a more sustainable solution for green energy production. I have done this by developing a concept called the hydro pipe. The hydro pipe takes an already known concept of the hydro dam, but applies the principle to the water system of a new large building. In the structural design, the water used in the building, not toilet waste however, flows into the tank where it is filtered, and when it reaches its maximum volume is released down the pipe to hit the hydro pipe's turbine. This creates mechanical energy that can be transferred into electrical energy. The concept takes an already established idea but places it inside a building, therefore making it completely original and my unique selling point. PEC Solutions would target construction companies working on large-scale new buildings and developments. These firms are ideal candidates for the hydro pipe as they have tall and functional buildings, meaning high head and high volumes of water which maximise energy production. Moreover, the hydro pipe could also be implemented into the government builds such as housing estates and hospitals. In fact, any establishment where there is an appropriate amount of water to generate enough electricity to be cost effective. So I've worked out how much power it could be generated if my hydro pipe was installed in a real life case study. I chose the Ruskin Square development in Croydon. If they were to sell their generated electricity back to the grid at an average price of 13.86 pence per kilowatt hour, they would generate on average £30 a day and annually just under £11,000 per year. So finally, I'd like to stress the scale and potential future this concept holds. Energy production to date is worth 5.8 trillion US dollars. That's the equivalent to £4 trillion. This is not just one shop. This is not just one event. This is the game changer of green energy. This is PEC Solutions. Make your wastewater work for you. Thank you for listening.
So this goes into a building, and what sort of water is coming down? Is it my sink water? You know, what is it that's...
Okay, yeah. The toilet waste is completely excluded from what goes into the tank. If any dirty water does go in by accident, because accidents do happen of course, it will be filtered through the tank and through a mesh device at the front, so it will get stuck there and then it can be cleaned out.
With the water, because you need quite a big surface area, don't you, to house the water in the first place? Yeah, how big is the tank needed, and does that depend on the size of the building? Is it like a swimming pool size? Is it, you know, the size of this
It
room?
depends. However, in the Ruskin Square development, it will be around 4,500 litres a day, but in an actual tank it doesn't take up too much room.
The way you're selling this to us, it looks like a very simple thing to do, but in reality, in practice, you probably find that there is a hell of a lot of equipment to use and a lot of maintenance.
The most valuable thing I think you have in that product is the IP in it. So in terms of the design, in terms of the manufacture, in terms of protecting it, is it patentable? How much have you investigated it? And in terms of actually prototypes and producing, where are you with that?
Well, firstly, I've got a model coming, I'd say about next week, because it takes 5 days to produce this model. I guess that is leading into the prototype, I guess, so I can get the actual physical thing going.
How much money do you think it would cost until you could put your first pipe in?
At the current stage, I wouldn't know pricing.
My fear is that you have invented like the flying car. Like it's going to be possible one day. It is going to be possible, but it's just not possible yet. Like and the problem with me is I'm a marketing man, so I'm not intelligent enough to understand whether that is witchcraft or whether it is engineering perfection.
The whole point of me including my competitors was to prove to you guys that the technology is out there at the moment.
I mean, you're 100% sure that it works. I mean, is the product guaranteed at the end of the day?
Yeah. Yeah, I can step back and say that, yeah.
Who's going to build the prototype? So when you get to this next step, who's actually going to build it?
I guess I'd go to any hydro turbine specialist that's currently doing it at the moment and then ask them where they go to. But I'm not at that stage yet, so I wouldn't.
So you've got your model to test it. Will that model test? So it's a smaller version, isn't it?
Yeah.
Will that actually be a working model, and will it kind of test
guess
the theory, I guess?
It doesn't really matter if it was a working model because it's all about magnetic fields and induced currents.
The reality is that if you show it to somebody quite big and powerful in the world of business, the global economy, and they like the idea, they're just going to take it from you. So, but also the other thing as well, I think the value that you have, and I hark on about it, occupational hazard being a lawyer, is the IP that you have in that. So I think what you need to do before you go and talk to anybody else is go and talk to a patent agent to find out whether or not it's patentable. Because if you show that to enough people beforehand, automatically it's deemed to be in the public domain and you can't patent it. So you need to make sure that if you are showing it to people, they've got NDAs in place, and I think you just have to go and talk to a patent agent.
Yep.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Last to step into the final is two entrepreneurs who are looking to create an innovative app to aid families and individuals in their busy day-to-day lives. During the semi-final, Harry and Maddie displayed their true professionalism and knowledge throughout. Their mission statement was clear, precise, and displayed their potential, earning them a place in the Young Startup Talent final.
Going into the den, I'm a little nervous as expected, but quite
Go for it. I've learned a load. The business has progressed hugely and I found it invaluable.
With a vast range of entrepreneurial talent in the process, can they deliver?
I'm Harry Flaherty.
I'm Maddie Ellison and we're co-founders of Kitch.
Kitch is an on-demand service for people who love food but lack time. Society has moved towards a two-income household and time has never become more valuable. You can have your dry cleaning picked up, cleaned, delivered to your house, Uber, and you can also order in-home services such as massages and beauty services.
Our target market for this, we've split into two sections. The first one would be rich families or wealthy families who have both parents in professional jobs and don't always have time to come home and cook food for their children. Also, if you want to have a family meal together, takeaways might not also, or ready meals might not be appropriate for that. So we think they could order maybe on a Friday night where they could all have a family dinner together with less of the stress. So they actually get time to spend with their children instead of doing all their chores. And the other one would be young people who like to entertain and have a bit of spare money before they have children. And they could order the service to have, maybe if they don't like to cook, they could have a stress-free dinner party where it's cooked, ingredients bought, cooked and cleaned, completely stress-free.
To gauge demand of our service, we created a survey and sent that round to our target market. What we found was 73% noted a lack of spare time in their lives. 76 were interested in booking a private chef to cook their weekday meals for when they come home from work. And 93% were interested in using a chef for special occasions. We are planning to trial this system in Blackheath. It's got a small village community and it will spread well with word of mouth. We do have connections in the area. We surveyed 50 respondents in the Blackheath community and they responded positively to our survey.
50 in total or 50 just in Blackheath?
In Blackheath.
So how many did you do in total?
150. We also spoke to chefs around the local area and we got 10 who expressed their potential interest. Quite a lot of them work in the city, but they live in that local area. After that, we plan to expand. We were thinking one area every 3 months, and we were thinking to next transition into the City of London, Westminster, and Kensington and Chelsea, and that's where we focused the rest of our surveying. We'd begin expanding by advertising in the resident magazines, which run in all of those places, as well as Blackheath.
You said earlier, though, that you were really targeting this sort of mid-range market, where a chef would go around and cook dinner for 5 days for the family. Safe because of their time.
Yeah.
Because their minimal time they've got.
Yeah. Well, what we were thinking was having 2 prongs. That's why we were thinking for student chefs, student graduates, would be more used for cooking family meals because that might not be expected up to such a good standard. And then already established chefs coming and cooking dinner parties because people would obviously expect a higher standard and want a bit of them to show off.
You'd have to have 2 strategies then, wouldn't you, for both parts? Or decide what market you wanted to be in, because I agree with Matt, you know, that market is already there to a certain extent for the premium market. So you'd have to have 2 strategies.
What percentage are the chefs taking?
We would be taking a percentage of what they charge, so 15%.
You're taking 15%
Does
on.
that include the ingredients?
Yeah.
And what happens if the chef breaks my pan?
The chef pays for the
Brings his
ingredients.
own.
So the chef is bringing their own equipment. You're not using the person's.
Yeah, the customer only supplies the large items. Yeah, so they arrive on site with ingredients all measured out, small items, maybe some cutlery. Start the cooking process, clean up, you eat, and they leave.
So your numbers, you've got £8,000 worth of start-up costs. Let's just park them for a second, not worry about them too much. You've got turnover of £181,683. Your costs are, this is including your start-up costs, £367,335, which means in your first year you will make a loss of £185,000. You're cool with that?
Well, we think that quite a lot of the costs come from the startup, and then there's not
No,
that
no,
much.
no. £8,000 comes from the startup. So if you take £8,000 of 185,000.
Yeah, it would be the hire. It would be the main thing is the hiring agency is obviously quite expensive.
You've
at the
also
moment.
started. You're paying your wages, I'm presuming, right from word go, haven't you? In this, I think you've included 25,000 each, haven't you? I think
This is what
right from the word go before you've got any income. So sometimes in a business you kind of have to take a bit of a hit in those first few months until you've got any income.
I think the next big thing for you is that agency fee.
Yeah.
Finding the chefs.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be paying something like that, you know. And there's definitely, I think you can find a better way of getting hold of these chefs.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
As we draw closer to the end of another fantastic year in Croydon, the judges must make the difficult decision of selecting just one lucky entrepreneur who will walk away with an incredible £50,000 worth of products and services. Young Startup Talent would like to thank all of the sponsors for their support and look forward to working with the next set of entrepreneurs in 2017. All of those who have made it through the process now have the support of the business network to make their business a success. To find out more about Young Startup Talent, the sponsors involved, and to follow the progress of entrepreneurs past and present, visit youngstartuptalent.co.uk.